With the highly anticipated release of Deathly Hallows Part 2, it's finally time to say goodbye to our good friend, Harry Potter. Before I review this, I would like to just let you know that there are no spoilers in this review until I tell you, so as soon as I say, here come the spoilers, that's when you can stop watching. Until then, you are safe. I, along with, I'm sure, a few other people, attended the midnight screening of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, and I saw it in 3D, I'll get to that in a few minutes, and I'm a big Harry Potter fan, of course. I loved all the books, I read all of them as they came out. I loved all the movies, I saw every single one at midnight, except for maybe like the first or the second. I was a little kid. You know, give me a break. And I think the 7th book was probably my favorite of the series, so I was very excited to see Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Part 2. Now, when Deathly Hallows Part 1 ended, I thought that was not enough for a movie, in my opinion. I want the rest of it right now. But I can appreciate now, after having seen Part 2, that they split it up, because they're really... Had they rushed... Honestly, it's more about had they rushed Part 2, I would have been upset. Part 1... you know, I didn't think it, to me, wasn't really enough. Like, I loved it, but I wasn't completely satisfied. With Part 2, I was so beyond satisfied. I was so happy, and of course I'm sad that it's over, but I'm very, very happy with how the movie came out. The parts that I specifically was excited about were done amazingly, and honestly, even though there were some parts that I didn't think were done that great, which I will get into in a second again, the fact that my favorite parts were done great made up for it. So, overall, I loved Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Now, first things first, again, like I said, I saw it in 3D. The 3D was completely unnecessary, total cash grab. I can't imagine how much more money they made on it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this was not shot in 3D, and it was not shot in IMAX. Yet there are IMAX 3D screenings. I really wish I had just gone to see it in 2D, honestly. The 3D, it didn't ruin it for me, because it really barely looked 3D. There were some spots that specifically were very 3D, but overall, I totally forgot it was in 3D most of the time. So, definitely not worth it. Just really... It's kind of despicable, to be honest with you, that they did that, but whatever. The pacing, like I said earlier, I thought was very good, because they split it up. This one really, I mean, the first one, Part 1, was really more of an adventure. This one was really just, it wasn't really an adventure so much as just really the epic conclusion. That's really all I can say. And I liked that. Honestly, I liked Part 2 more than I liked Part 1, although it's been a while. I don't fully remember Part 1 compared to, like, Part 2. Like, I didn't watch it right before Part 2, so I didn't have it fresh in my mind. But as far as I can remember, Part 2, I thought was better than Part 1. I certainly was more emotionally invested. Of course, you know, there were more emotional scenes in this one than Part 1. But the thing is, what's interesting is, I wasn't into it, to be honest. I wasn't into it when it started. I was like, oh, this is, you know, I'm excited to see it, but I'm not crying as the credits begin, you know? I was excited, of course, just because it's Harry Potter, but it didn't really get to me, you know? But... you know, midway through, or as soon as the first emotional scene came, I was crying right away. I cried through a good amount of the movie. But when it was over, I was very happy. I wasn't sad. It's, you know, it's sad that the series is ending and that, you know, it's over, but, I was more happy than sad just that they did a great job with it. Overall, I thought the acting was great. Actually, specifically, I'll get into it in the spoilers, but, one actor in particular, you can imagine who it is, or you know who it is if you saw it already, is what I mean, was phenomenal, I thought. And, again, I will talk about that specifically in the spoiler section. But overall, the movie, I loved it. I thought it was excellent. They did a great job with it. Aside from a few parts that were a little bit anticlimactic, a few characters that were left out, in my opinion, like not shown enough. Just a couple things I'm going to talk about in a minute, but that's really all I can say without doing any spoilers. So now I'm going to talk about spoilers from Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. If you've not read the books, do not watch this. You don't want it spoiled for you. If you have read the books but you haven't seen the movie, you might not want to know any differences or anything like that, because there are some differences I'm going to talk about from like the books to the movie. But, whatever. I'm going to talk about spoilers. If you don't want to know, don't watch. As soon as you see the movie, please come back and watch, and I guess here's what I have to say about spoilers. So first things first, I'd like to tell you the scenes I was most excited to see that I thought were done amazingly. First of all, Snape. Everything with Snape was what I was most anticipating. I thought that was incredible, and that's what I took away from the book most, was the whole thing with Snape, everything about his character. in Deathly Hallows I thought was brilliant. And my favorite part, honestly, I think my favorite part of the whole book is when he tells Harry, look at me, or something like that. You know, he tells him to look at him, and because of the eyes, of course. And the way they did it in the movie I thought was really beautiful. I thought it was fantastic. I was a mess. I was crying. I thought it was brilliantly done, and of course, Alan Rickman, that's who I thought was the best in the movie. He blew me away. He really did. I thought that he was fantastic. And of course, you know, the character is fantastic. So he had a great character to work with. He did an amazing job with it, and he really just blew me away. That's all I can say. I was very, very ecstatic, honestly, about his performance. I was so happy with it. And characters that were left out, I mean, first of all, Ron and Hermione weren't in it as much as I would have wished, and that kiss, give me a break. They talked it up quite a bit. Yeah, that was something. Also, the character I wish was in it more, but I don't remember if he was in the book more, so I mean, maybe it made sense, but Tom Felton, Draco, I thought is, I mean, out of all the kid actors, I guess you could say, I think he is by far the best. I thought he was brilliant in Half-Blood Prince, and I wish he was in it more. I really would love to see him more. There was one look that he had in the film, Deathly Hallows Part 2, that I thought was just, you know, it was exactly perfect. His look of kind of like, I don't remember exactly when it was, but he had this look specifically, I'm terrified. I don't want to do this. I am absolutely scared out of my mind. And it was just a brilliant expression on his face. Oh, and also Hagrid. I wish Hagrid was in it more. Again, I don't remember if he is in it more in the book, but it would have been nice to see him a little bit more. I thought that Ralph Fiennes, I believe that's how you pronounce it, of course Voldemort, I thought that he was fantastic as well. He did, the thing is, like, everyone was laughing when he was kind of being, well, he was being funny, I guess, but it's sick, really. It's sick that he's being funny after, you know, what's happened. So really, I'd like to watch it alone and see how that plays out without laughing, but I thought that he was excellent. Except for, where were the screams? I don't think I heard one. What happened? And a couple of people I have to mention that really got their shining moments. McGonagall, Neville, Mrs. Weasley, of course, was great. There was a lot of shining moments in this movie, but they were really, you know, they got their moments. Oh, they got their moments. And the last thing I'd like to say about Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 is the changes. Now, I read the books, you know, when they came out, so I haven't read Deathly Hallows in however long ago it came out, you know, it's been years. So I don't remember exactly, you know, what's different in the movie to the book, but I think that's good, actually. I think I enjoyed it more because I wasn't really nitpicking or anything like that. I definitely feel like I would have been like, oh, this didn't happen. But you can't ignore Harry pulling Voldemort, like, off the cliff or whatever, off the bridge. That was so... Why did they do that? I really think they just did that to make it look cool in the trailer. That was dumb. That was so dumb because then nothing happened. They just flew around. Like, it looked like, you know, they were apparating or something like that, but nothing happened. So what was the point? Like, did Harry really think they were going to smash him to the ground or something? I don't know. That was dumb. And I think that's really all I have to say about Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. I was very, very happy with it. I think they did an excellent job. Great wait. Oh, wait. I just remembered one major thing that I did not mention. The epilogue. How do I feel about the epilogue? Okay, when I read the books, I didn't really know how I felt about it. I still don't know how I feel about the epilogue 19 years later. One side of me says, well, it's nice to see, the major side of me says, like, this is overpowering side, says, it's nice to see that their kids are going off to Hogwarts, and it's like the mischievous fun of the beginning of the series, Harry Potter, and it's nice to see that that's continuing, and it's just a nice way to end it, I guess. But the other side of me says, kind of corny, little bit corny, but like I said, the other side does overpower the side that enjoyed it. In the movie, however, I don't really know how I feel about it. From an outsider's opinion, my girlfriend hasn't read the books. She watches all the movies. She's watched all the movies, but she doesn't fully remember, you know, every detail. And she thought it was kind of corny. She kind of wished it ended right before the 19 years later. And I totally get that. That's the outsider's opinion. From someone that read the books, it was weird. Primarily just because I don't know. The makeup was just, well, non-existent on some of them, I think. Did Hermione have any makeup on? I don't know, you know. But I thought Harry looked okay. Tom Felton, well, I don't know why I'm saying character names and then skipping over to actors' names here, but whatever. Draco, I thought looked alright because he looked the oldest of all of them, so it just looked like a change. The other ones, I know they went and reshot it, but the other ones did look more, they looked so old in like the original shoot, because like pictures were released of all of them. They looked so damn old. So maybe when they did the reshoots, they made them look less old, so it didn't look as goofy. But I don't know, I feel like either way, it looked kind of silly. I don't know, it was weird, but I guess there's really no way to do it. I really feel bad for them having to figure out how the hell to do that. That must have been difficult. And it still didn't fully work in my opinion, so that's tough. And now, I think, wait. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all I have to say about Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Again, loved it. Thought they did an excellent job overall, even though there were some anticlimactic scenes. And I just remembered I didn't mention another thing. Damn it, damn it, damn it. I'm coming back in. This is the last time, I promise. Very quickly, the scene, of course, like, Voldemort dying, I thought was a little bit, not anticlimactic, but like that was done well. The way he died was done very well in my opinion, but that was done okay. It was what happened right after. Everyone's reaction was very like mellow. Really? Like, I mean, I wouldn't want everyone partying because a lot of people died, but everyone should have been like distraught or something. I mean, like people died, you know? And then Harry's kind of walking around almost with like a little bit of a smirk on his face, like, I did it, bitch. But you didn't have to really die, you know, you died and came back. Everyone else is dead. You asshole. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I didn't like everyone, not just his attitude, but everyone's attitude was very laid back and mellow. Like, Ron seemed to get over his loss pretty quickly. I don't know. I don't know. It was a very strange attitude everybody had after the fact. Like, what do you want to tell me? Oh, well, hey, an hour went by. You get over things. I don't know. It was weird. And that, finally, truly is the last thing I have to say about Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. I don't even want to think anymore. I don't care. If I think of something later on, too bad. That's all I have to say. So let me know in the comments what you thought of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, the final Harry Potter film. Let me know if you're very, very upset about it, or if you are okay. Let me know if you were very upset when the movie ended, if you were happy like me. I was very happy that they did a great job with it. Let me know if you think they did a great job translating the book to the movie. If you read the books, if you didn't read the books, just let me know what you thought as kind of like an outsider's perspective, I guess. Just let me know anything you want about Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, and that's pretty much it.